Alright, what the fuck's going on, everybody? It is a flagrant Tuesday. I'm trying to get teed up. I'm trying to get booted from the game. I'm trying to get ejected today. That's what I'm on. But no, for real. Welcome to Brian's World. If you're new to the show, make sure to downvote and report to the community standards for partial nudity. But today, I wanted to talk about. I don't know, dude. Fuck. I guess I was supposed to come up with something, huh? Um, Job interview with a massage place. Show up in a Deshaun Watson jersey. I don't know if I should do that. That is an interesting topic. I feel like we kind of moved on. Like the whole jury is out on Deshaun Watson. Like, yeah, this dude's probably was a bit of a creeper. And he just keeps getting hurt and he can't play football anymore. Um, but I don't know. I guess there's probably still a debate going on. I don't know. I don't participate in the chat rooms anymore or like the Facebook groups to talk about sports, so I really don't know what people are talking about anymore. Um, but based on my experience in those sports communities, I'd say probably yeah, people are still arguing over Deshaun Watson. I would assume in one way or the other. It might not be arguing whether or not like from a football standpoint, but from a like human being, like the case where the 26 women, was it just bitches that he hooked up with and colluded against him, or was he setting up, some greasy shit? Once you anything that goes down in the DMs just comes from a bad place. Can we all maybe agree with on that? Like typically, if I go on Facebook and I end up DMing a random girl, like just oh she's cute, I'm not even friends with her, I'm gonna add her and DM her. That's pretty fucking desperate, bro. It's like I get that we have that avenue and we have that pathway, but do you go and talk to every single cute girl you see in public? Maybe if you're a fucking weirdo, you do, and you should stop because they don't like it, and you should have figured that out by now. But you've got your opportunities that are available. We all have as men and women, vice versa. We all have our opportunities to get at what we're chasing after. But you think about the logistics behind sending a DM. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty random and desperate. Like, hey, I just saw I'm attracted to you. I'm just gonna message you on that sole basis. You gotta do a little bit more than that to get my attention, honey. Cause it's money for nothing and your chicks for free. Yeah, buddy, that's his own hair. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. I'm wild, bro. I told you it was a flagrant Tuesday. I feel like I'm on the first release of a music video on MTV right now, dude. I'm feeling very 2005-ish today. You feel me? How we feeling, dog? You guys remember Ace Hood when I was like, or like when we were, at least my age. I'm 29, so T Pain, dude, Akon, um, Rick Ross, 50 Cent, Lil Wayne. The people I would listen to in like fifth grade. uh, their music videos, the first release would be on, like, you'd hear the song on the radio, and then the music video would come out on MTV. Like, that's how you heard. We didn't have this shit, bro. We didn't. You couldn't just go on here. It's so easy nowadays. I can think of any song that pops in your head. You can type it and play it. Now, maybe not me because I'm a broke ass motherfucker. I don't have data on my phone or internet right now. But I'm working so hard, and the only reason I'm really that broke is because, well, I worked for a job and I didn't get paid any money. I'm not blaming anyone or anything for that. But sometimes if you do something like that, you might get fucked in your butt. Um, and you don't want to have any problems. But sometimes the enemies have to turn to victims. I'm just playing, bro. I'm just playing. No, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not me. I just understand there's a certain naiveness with most people, and they're gonna be in their little world, and I'm gonna be in my little world, and there's gonna be things that don't add up, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, it's just a simple conversation of money. And I run my life like a sports team. So in this situation, I'm on a holdout right now. I wanted to break off from a woman. What did I do? I waited till Monday. Like a owner would fire a head coach after a shitty game on Sunday. That's exactly what happened. Very shitty performance on Sunday. Hey, Monday morning, you get the phone call from the big boss. It's over. Immediately. You're terminated. You've been terminated. You're fired. You're fired. And we had an interim head coach by the end of the day, brother. On God. Yeah, buddy. It be like that. It just be like that sometimes, right? Not for all of us, but for some of us. It just simply be like that. I'm still a little heartbroken, but I mean, my confidence never got shaken up because, when you find yourself a interim coach, you're able to find a pretty good interim coach on the same day there. You're able to make that decision. I think I've talked about everything in this shit. Yeah, I don't know. Give me my flowers. You guys know your flowers. And I'm one of those people, and I recommend this for other people because there's just some simple energy shit. Okay? Complimenting people and being nice to people will give yourself like good karma, and people will be nice to you back because you're nice to them. It'll make you feel nice. That doesn't mean you shouldn't. If someone's being a bitch ass motherfucker, it doesn't mean you shouldn't slap them around a little bit. You feel me? You think I'm wearing the sweatshirt that says "Dear person" on the back? You're lovely and deserving, and I love you. I'm gonna get the sweatshirt. It says on the back, "Run, motherfucker, run." Like, if I catch you staring at my ass for too long, I'm gonna take your ass. That's what I'm gonna get on the back. That's what my sweatshirt says. Like, do not look at my butt for too long. It's like the wilderness, bro. It's like alpha male behavior. If I sense someone's trying to take me, dude, That's some shit someone would that they just got out of jail would say. Oh. You guys like my gay annoying laugh? Hey, for any of you guys out there, dudes, that think my laugh is gay and annoying, I get told all the time how cute it is by women, so I hope that just pisses you off and ruins your fucking day, bitch. Cause it's a flagrant Tuesday. And that's what we own. You know, I'm a little upset with the situation I find myself in. I'm not mad at any particular person or any concept. Um, you know, I don't like to throw around anger and be mad about things. Disappointment, yeah. Um, but disappointment stems from uh, failure. And failure stems from either two different things. Either you took on a risky situation that was going to set you up for failure anyways, or you straight up took something that was out of your element, or you got distracted and shit the bed and the failure is all your fault. There's a couple of different ways it can go in between, you feel me? But generally that's kind of like the three reasons something fails. A lot of times we fail because we're set up to fail, and you shouldn't fucking feel bad. That your failure was based on somebody else being in a desperate situation. And I'm finding desperate people in desperate situations, you know, sapping my shit, bro. And thinking this dick's for free. And, you know, you gotta set your market value. If you're letting people use your dick for free, you have to make sure that your dick gets paid for the services rendered, right? But you know what? There's a lot of traps. You can fall yourself. You can fall into a lot of traps, right? And there's a lot of things that are worth taking the risk. And if you understand that if it's a risk on the front end, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to crash your boat. It's not going to sink your boat. But you have to make sure you can take a risk. And if you're like in a state of need, you kind of have to take the secure route. Like bitches. I'm sorry, I don't like to use the term bitches. But it does apply because there's just a lot of boppalinas out there. Or just like a flow of bopping behavior. Maybe the girl isn't necessarily a bop, but maybe she just be bopping a little bit on the side. But no, anyways, yeah, what was I saying? So yeah, what is a risk? What's not a risk? That's for you to assess in your own situations. But I'm telling you, as a man from experience, that you shouldn't be afraid of risk and risky behavior. No, not like that. Fuck you. No. This isn't for you dumb sluts to be like, let's be risky and get fucked. That's what girls, they hear the word risk and that's what they think. Oh my god. I don't know, dude. I don't know what's going on in their heads. I don't give a fuck. That's for the other dudes to try to worry about, like, I don't know. I just attract who I attract and roll with it, dog. Um, but yeah, for normal people, usually they're just assessing financial risk. Like you're not too worried about shit. But see, me, I'm a ratchet city boy, right? There's traps everywhere to fall into. And like I was saying, that when you're in a desperate situation and things are hectic as fuck and you really need someone, you have to go with the safe route and the secure route. And me, for a woman, I'm not the safe fucking guy. I'm a hot shot and a bit of a hot head. That doesn't mean like I'm toxic and get into arguments, but I get like very animated and excited. I got what did she say? Golden retriever energy is what I was told. Like I'm a golden retriever, like like bitch. Honestly, it's not really like that. I'm just trying. I'm just trying to, Andre 3000 says it best. But yeah, for real. So for anyway, yeah, I can understand why someone would choose like a lesser man over me, because that lesser man is gonna do even more than I would do and put up with more than I would put up with, because he knows that he sucks. and and he's not hot shit. I happen to be hot shit. You feel me? I'm broke, but I talk well, I act well, I dress well, I smell well. Whatever, dude. All the good words that you can ever think of. No, am I really that arrogant? No, but I have to play my character. And like I said, it's Flagrant Tuesday. Like, come on, how many times have I come on here and said some very humble things throughout the years? Okay? Was that any fun? Did that get us anywhere? No. It's the toxic shit. Mm-mm. But I'm just out here trying to get my flowers. Look at that. 234. The time is 234. I believe in synchronicities. I saw 117 today. 1017 or 117 is a big number. I see it a lot. I'm also, 1017 Brick Squad, Gucci Mane, Young Thug. Big fan of all their work together. There's some good stuff in there. People assume I have like the. I think my look gives off like likes country music or like Republican me. I don't know. Once people get closer and see my earrings and nose ring, I don't know. People think I like country and I don't really. I don't know. But I like my hood music, like my trap hood shit. I listen to gangster rap. Project Pat, another one of my favorites. I say Juicy J, but I'd rather just say 3 6 Mafia, because Juicy J is a little bit. Saying like I'm a fan of Juicy J is just a little bit cliche. I am. Like, he does stand out for me, but a lot of that is like the 3 6 Mafia influence. I just, he did make a lot of white girl music. And I gotta be careful because I could sound like a white girl real quick. Like, I do make my own coffee, so that's what keeps me. Like, if I was buying my own coffee, bro, I'd be a white girl, and it'd be a problem. I'm just a bit of a bitch and a diva. So like, I'm a bitch, dude. I'm a bitch sometimes. I'm a pretty bitch. Damn base God, I'm a pretty bitch. But no, seriously, I'm just being honest. Um, so yeah, if I don't make my own coffee, that's where you can draw the line. Like, all right, that's a man. That's a fucking man. He don't go out and buy a coffee. For you dudes that get, I can't believe that. Some of you men, that's part of your daily routine, isn't it? You go through a drive-through at like Dunkin' Donuts and get fucking buy a coffee. Oh my god, you buy a coffee, dude. I grind my own beans. I'll fuck you up, pussy. I didn't even mean to. Foul. Time out. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get that mean, but it just annoys me. You know what I'm saying? I think that's wimpy. Because I don't like to use the term gay because there's a lot of like tough gay men that are tougher that wouldn't buy coffee. The only time I'll go get coffee is like on a date. But even then, like I don't, if it's the girl's idea, I'll go with it. If she invites me to go get coffee, if a pretty girl invites me to go get coffee, I'm not going to be like, no. But in the back of my head, like, hey, dude, I got bean on deck. They call me the bean grinder, and that has two meanings. And if you want to come over, I'll show you both. Wild card, bitches. That's right. I was weird and I was wild card as a kid and a teenager. So what the fuck do you expect as an adult? You want me to be normal? Jesus Christ. You're gonna have to put me in a Saint Laurent straitjacket, bitch. You want me to be normal? I'm really just being savage for a Tuesday, you guys. Um, I had this fortune cookie, and it said your social skills will be heightened on a Tuesday. And I was like, fuck that fortune cookie and fuck these chinks. I want to scare people away on a Tuesday. So that's what I'm here to do right now. So again, please um, report this video for a violation of the community standards. Is that piss on the floor? Is that my cat that peed? Did my cat pee or did I piss? I'm gonna assume I spilled some coffee. Ain't that wild, you guys? There's piss on. There's just randomly pee. Dude, these pajama pants I never really barely worn. Sometimes I like keep clothes just stashed. I wore them for the first time. And these pajama pants, I mean, they just had the biggest dick hole. Like a slit, like a opening, like you know how underwear kind of have a slit. These had a massive slit, and they're just made to be able to pee through. Like if you were to wear no underwear underneath, and you had to go potty, you could just very easily open it up. And obviously, I'm just not lazy. I kind of found it to be insulting. I found the dick hole in my pajama pants to be fucking insulting. Because, like, you think I'm a lazy man? Or do you think that my brain is so sexually intertwined that I want to be wearing pajama pants Where I can just pop my boner out at any moment. What the It don't be like that. I can't be doing that. It's not appropriate. I'm a father. This is like a parenthood. I haven't done much like nasty stuff up in this bitch yet. But no, for real. I try to keep this as a sanctuary. A spiritual sanctuary. It was funny. I mean, it was funny, but it was just a weird feeling. Because it's just too, it was too much. It was too big of a hole, and it was too, like, if you really didn't put it back together tight, it was just going to be flapping open, and it looked like you have a mangina. Which is pretty trendy these days, right? Uh, when's my target demographic going to actually find out that I exist? And then we can take over the internet together. And they'll run from us. We'll scare people. I'm like the Joker. Alright, intermission, bitches. Let's actually do a little bit more of a meditation type thing. I'll play like some kind of tune. And I'll mute my mic so we can actually meditate, because that's we're at the 30-minute mark and I'm only doing hour-long shows. So let me meditate. I'm going to meditate, you meditate, we'll collect our thoughts and then come back together. How's that sound? Hold on, what do we got here? What are we feeling? I want to play something that doesn't get any kind of copyright. So this says Miami Vice royalty-free, copyright-safe music. Just what the doctor ordered. I think this shit's pretty badass. Oh yeah, dude. I'll be back. Two souls trapped in the space-time continuum. We're just in the space-time continuum. The time keeps flowing. The time keeps glowing. And her tits, she be showing. You gotta just vibe and be one with the universe, man. You gotta, life is like a box of chocolates. It's pretty disappointing. Am I right? It's pretty sweet. You guys fired up right now? I think that first one was the hardest banger. They always put the best one first, right? I don't know, it's been too pretty in here, ain't it? Ain't shit sweet. Just real quick, I don't want to get into too many. I know, like, okay, it seems like people talk about dating and shit a lot on the internet and the different intricacies, and I feel like I have some good insight up in that bitch. But okay, don't let no chick get your pride up. Like, just because a girl's all talky to you and gives you a bunch of attention right away, especially because we got these phones and they can just be hitting you up and FaceTiming you and shit a bunch and just, you know what I'm saying, peppering you with hours of attention on a daily basis. Good and bad, you know. But I'm saying right in the beginning, the ones that just show you a bunch of attention and listen to you in the very beginning. Now sometimes, yeah, we have things that are attractive about us as a man or as a woman that you know is your bread and butter. Everybody's got their bread and butter, right? So sometimes you have faith in your bread and butter and you be like, oh, this person's really vibing with my bread and butter. You're a good fit. Um, but sometimes they're running from something and it's a desperate energy that they're throwing at you. And really, in the back of their minds, they're trying to run away from like 4 different extremely harmful relationships that they have trauma from over the last 4 years. And once you start learning about that, you'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, hey, I'm a good guy. You know, some of us are actually good guys. We might not, work everything out with everybody. Um, but we're not gonna beat nobody or like sexually assault or really, I don't drink anymore, so I don't even really get yelly or too much or anything. If you wake me up on some bullshit, if you're bitching before 10 a.m., you gotta save your bitch until after 10 a.m. Because that's like my hour of shiftness. Once 10 a.m. has passed, I'm in a good mood. Before 10 a.m., I'm pissed. I'm just salty, bro. It's like I'm ready to either. I'm in fuck or fight mode. Flight or fight. Sorry, I said that wrong. Fight or flight mode. No. No, for real. I'd like to go. Not that I want to hurt nobody necessarily. It's just like the physical activity. Like I'd want to be in the cage. And like I want to wear headgear and shin gear and like boxing gloves. I want to fight as sport. But before, that's why I feel 10 a.m. Either I'm trying to be intimate or I'm trying to go to war. No, I don't know. It depends on the day. I don't know. I usually just don't wake up that fucking excited. It's because, I don't know, maybe my medication kind of, or smoking weed, but I try not to smoke. I don't smoke a lot at night so that it don't fuck with my sleep too much. But yes, going back to the one of the main points of this episode is risk. Um, like I said, for the average person, when we talk about risk, you're probably talking about financial risk. Like, do I want to do something that's not very risky and don't take on much risk and just shoot for like a, 8 to 10% return? I know back in my day when I was learning finance, like a 10% return from mutual funds was like good, like as like your average. That's what you want to shoot for. Like a stable, not risky, less risk would be something around like 10% return. So you do like mutual funds that you just put your money into. And if you don't know what a mutual fund is, it's just like basically, to make it simple, a smart person that knows stocks gets a collection of stocks, and their mutual fund is based off of that collection of stock performance. And since they're smart and they know their stocks and shit and finance shit, it's a good and safe investment that mitigates risk for you. You don't have to worry about deciding where you want to put your risk in the stock market because these people have already done it. They have balanced portfolios that take on some risk, but for the bulk of it is stable long-term assets and investments. So you just put your money into that and don't think twice. A lot of companies, that's like your 401k or whatever. I think. I don't know. I don't know my shit that well. I'm a sales guy, dude. Um, or you can take your savings that you would invest in the mutual funds and get yourself a Robinhood account and a Reddit account and go on Reddit and join the community of Wall Street Bets. And you can go ahead and gamble with your money and be your own individual day trader and trade options. I've both made and lost money off options trading. Dude, like it's crazy. One time I made like $500 accidentally in bed. I was just like trying to learn about the options. So I'm like, what? Okay, I hit this and it's like, okay, you bought it. And I was like, oh shit. It was on the Robinhood app. And I was like, well, what the fuck? What's going to happen? I start tracking it. I'm like, dude, it's moving really fast. And then it said like plus $500. And I was like, sell out, sell out, sell out. And then it really did. It really did sell out for me, and I profited $500. And I'd only really, the option was like for the contract or whatever is like $40. It was like a $40 investment. Other than that, any other time I did an option, maybe I either broke even, made a tiny profit, but for the majority, you lose money. And I don't really remember all the shit about options and stuff and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to sit here and try to sound smart about something that I don't really know about. I probably know more than the average person that pretends like they know what they're talking about, maybe. But I keep it real. I ain't trying to impress nobody other than myself. And I'm most impressed with keeping it fucking real. But yeah, I wish I was in position to assess my financial risks. I have to I have a lot of time risks, really. Time and money risks. A little financial. Like the jobs. If I take a temp job, there's a chance of getting laid off. If I take a 1099 sales job, there's a chance I might make zero fucking dollars. You know what I'm saying? I've taken on some risk. I date a traumatized, insanely traumatized stripper single mother. It doesn't go well. I took the risk. You feel me? This has been like the year of risk for BryansWorld. And these risks, they're high reward. Like this woman had some qualities that I think I'd be hell bent to find elsewhere. They just had too much negativity. The way she fucking goes. That's the world that we live in. Sometimes you're gonna fall in love with somebody, but they're overshrouded by the darkness, and you lose to the darkness. You're gonna lose to the darkness because it's an uphill battle, and you had your work cut out for you anyways, and it was gonna be tough. But you know what? You climbed Mount Everest. Everest. Go climb Mount Everest, bitch. Let's do it. Like, what do we got next? No, I'm not in position to take any. Like, I do kind of need. I'll do a temp job just because I need some money, but and need instant work. But I'd prefer a something stable and part time, so then I can also do the sales job. But yeah, I mentally, physically, and spiritually put my stock into things that were always going to be an uphill battle and always have this possibility. And maybe in my world, what I do is I just kind of take responsibility for things. There are some things outside of my control. Sometimes your own brain and how you handle pressure can be a little bit outside your control. These things can be tough. Um, even the best of the best of the elite have their battles. But yeah, when you're putting energy trying to quantum, and maybe I really haven't been manifesting and doing my shit enough. I've been studying for my job and instead of like my manifestation stuff and being in tune with the spiritual world around me. I've been living in dollars and time. I've been living in, clock in, clock out, punch in, punch out, the rat race. And I'm running from the rats. I wanted to kind of show a way to show off my clothes collection. I have a lot of clothes, you guys. It's pretty insane. Oh yeah, okay. What's up with girls named Amber having fat asses? I mean, I have not met a single Amber in my life who did not have a distinctively big butt. Hey, did you see Amber's butt in those pants today? Type of ass. Like, like it gets talked about. It's the name Amber. I don't know what it is. Is anybody else? Maybe. I saw a song that was titled "Amber's Fine Ass," and it made me think that someone else was having the same experience that I was having. They noticed that all these Ambers had big butts. Isn't that crazy, you guys? And you know what I say to those Ambers? I think today that you should try out the new chair that just came out. That you should sit in this new chair called My Face. Um, okay. What about we talk about like net worth and like value in community and society? Because it's two different things, right? There's a lot of really rich people with hundreds of millions of dollars. And part of what they spend their money on is exclusivity. You don't know these people's names. There's like, you know what I'm saying? You can't just Google every single 100 millionaire. You feel me? There's a lot of people out there that we don't really even know about. You don't know everybody that makes, some of these CEOs and shit. Dude, I once chopped up a refinance for like the CFO of Morgan Stanley Bank or some shit. Or Wells Fargo, I think. He was like the CFO on like their board of directors. He had like $1 million house. No, no, his house was valued, I remember. It was like 1.3 million. But it really, I don't even know if it was like his main house. And the thing is, he had like a certain amount to pay off. I think it was like, I guess you can't really talk about people's finance. Yeah, you can. I'm just shooting the shit generally. Well, anyways, I probably shouldn't say the real numbers, but it was so long ago, all the non-disclosure stuff already passed. And I never actually signed a deal with them. I was just taking a peek. But no, it was crazy because, all right, let's talk about the real moral of the story is not exposing this dude's details of his mortgage. I don't think it wasn't Wells Fargo or Morgan Stanley. I was just throwing out two big banks. So that's the first thing. I haven't even given out his actual place of employment. And I said generally board of directors. I don't remember his actual position. So anyways, he was a fucking bigwig, dude, and I'm in like my third month on the mortgage bankings and doing these refinances. I think it was like my second or maybe even my first month banking, but deep into it. Now, with that said, I'd been a part of their internship program. So for me, I'd been like more like a 7 month employee at this point, probably. I guess I really didn't work there during the school year, but anyways, I'm getting off track. Yeah, I tried to get him a refinance, and I was still new to this shit. But you just got you just gotta hang in there and keep using big words, and you gotta just act like you know what you're talking about. You gotta just sell it, dude. Pretending like you know something is actually more powerful than even knowing it. But yeah, something to do with like the jumbo loan. They weren't doing jumbo loans at that time, and I was trying to like get it right on the verge. I was trying to run the numbers, dude. Trying to get this shit to work out, save this dude money. The other one, and I won't give any details at all with this one. Um, the drummer to REO Speedwagon. I quoted him. A refinance. Popular band from like the 80s and 90s shit. Pretty wild, huh? But yeah, going back to the thought here, like, so the idea of that there's someone out there and you don't know their name and they have 300 million net worth, which is like Pat Mahomes is worth more than that at this point. You feel me? That's like Tom Brady type shit. Usually you think of someone worth that much and you know their name. And there's a lot of people that we don't even know their names. What does that mean, net worth? It means how much you're worth overall, not necessarily how much is in your bank, but the total value of all your assets. And it's just how much money you've collected. And like most of these people, they've had their paths paved, you know. They come from a rich family. You go to rich schools. You get the best grades. You get into the Harvards. That's where they pull these people out of, the Harvards. Not University of Akron. I'm like an off-brand businessman. I'm a Walmart businessman. I did work at Walmart before. It was pretty tight. I was just in a bad spot mentally. I couldn't deal with it. The problem with working at Walmart is you have to be in a good spot, like social glow and happy deep down. And I can fake it, dude. You know, I'm a good actor. I'm a performer when it comes to hell. This I put on a lot of podcasts and shows now. Is feeling down bad. Actually helps me. Um, Hold on a second. But yeah, the ability to perform under needed and clutch circumstances, and when you're down bad and you gotta figure something out. Does your net worth define that? It doesn't at all. I mean, your average person has probably overcome more adversity in a skillful and passionate way than what all these millionaires, I mean, like the big, like 100 millionaires. You, sir, the person watching this show, and me, sir, or Mrs., or Miss, well, what's up? Slide through. Uh, Shit. You might be more powerful. Your essence as a human being is potentially more powerful. A lot of these people, again, have had their paths paved for them. And if you were born as them, they don't have no special mental ability. They were just exposed to a certain predetermined path, or not predetermined, like they fuck it up. Like Hunter Biden, for example, he should probably have a pretty good path in U.S. politics to be a good politician. He probably should be a senator by now and all that. But he likes crack, and he likes buying prostitutes. And me personally, I don't like either of those things. Back in my drinking days, sure, I would have enjoyed some crack. Prostitution was never my thing. I would get some strippers, some lap dances, but never explicitly paid for any strange. I think those things are wrong. So me as a person, I wouldn't have. If I was Hunter Biden, I would have taken advantage of my opportunities probably for the most part. I would have done a much better job than he did. Because I mean, you can Google search Hunter Biden crack, and there's a picture of him. Like I think that'd be the one thing that you'd. I don't know, but crack is like it's very much a fuck it type of substance. Crack basically turns your decision making process into fuck it. You lose. I never smoke crack, but I've done the nose candy, which crack is just free based cocaine. So, anyways, yeah, no, it just basically turns your emotional and logical center into a giant fuck it, which is not good. It's not practical. Especially if your name is Biden and your father has had one of the most, you know, long tenured, successful political careers. Again, I think politics is the act and a sham designed to keep the sheep in check. But if you were gonna grade someone in like career wise, like if it was like sports, I'd say Joe Biden did a pretty good job. Nothing really bad about him came out. I mean, he would sniff little girls, and that was odd. Other than that, I mean, his name wasn't implicitly in really any of the stuff. It was Clinton, Obama. So I think Biden, he seems very harmless to me, Joe Biden. He's just, I mean, he plays his role as a puppet, but he does not seem like, and maybe they're all puppets, all the politicians, all the faces we see on the TV and on the stage are puppets in a way. But, I think some of them are more involved in the occult than others, and that's obvious. Like Biden doesn't have ties to Marina Abramovich. Hillary Clinton, however, very like documented ties to these people, these occult people, doing spirit cooking and all this shit. And again, if I sound like a conspiracy theorist, just go Google Marina Abramovich Clintons. I don't have internet right now. um. So yeah, no. Honestly, if I was gonna judge, I always been thinking this like, other than sniffing kids, like Joe Biden has been pretty freaking harmless. Obviously, he's all again as a politician, they're all bad, probably. There was that one guy who went on Joe Rogan that was like, "Yeah, I was having a successful political career, but one of my main things is that I didn't choose a party, and I was doing well as like an independent and freeing people's minds and more collaboration and coming together, despite and not hiding from our differences, but learning from each other." And he was really making some noise doing that, which isn't very popular in U.S. politics. Typically, you run under the guise, under your party, under like a goal and a common mission to defeat the other party. Like it's not just about you winning; it's about them and beating them. Both sides play that game, and this guy didn't. And he said we had some success. We were in place to like run for governor or something, and someone came up to me and said, "Hey, um, your views are maybe we see you a little bit more as a Democrat, and you're gonna have to run under the Democrat. And if you don't, here's what happened." And he says, "I can't really talk anymore about it." So literally, Agent Smith shows up at your door and says, "Hey, you're doing a good thing for the world. That's not really what we're about here in U.S. politics. You know that one guy, the meatball chef for Obama. You want to know what happens when you start squealing? Squealing like a pig? Well, what ends up happening to a pig on the farm? He gets chopped up for bacon." Do you think that some of these, I don't know, let's make our own conspiracy theory. What if like the people that get like murked, like with all the Clintons and all that, um, what if instead of actually like ending them, they use their lives? Like what if they use them to make AI humanoids? Like what if they do all the testing? That's the people they do the testing on. Well, they could just buy people from Ukraine. Everybody knows that. This is America, America. Silk Road 2.0. For real though, scary world. But I was thinking this, and I've said this before throughout my content career and history. It's been a very common thing that I've brought up. Yes, is this world a bit of a hellscape and there's still some messed up things going on? But there is like an average human standard that we have reached as a modern society that is above the standard. Like there's a pretty large amount of places you can live and you'll never have to worry about a large group of people pillaging your area. and waging war upon you for your land and resources. We have laws, criminal justice systems in many different countries. Do we still have some places that are butt fucked sideways? Yes. But again, this world is meant to be a bit of a hellscape. And now the true hellscape is this internet and the disconnect from nature that we continue to trend into. That's becoming the hell and the mark of the beast. In the past, it was violence. And now we're being a little bit more tamed and domesticated as humans, which is a good thing, obviously. Like, violence doesn't make anybody really happy. Now, controlled violence obviously is a man ancestral emotions. We feel these things and we feel these urges and these battles, and that's why you just gotta have battles and fights and goals in your own life. And you can put your war energy into those things. Or for me, I've been a little bit I do need my shit, dude. I need some dark shit. But really like lifting, doing heavy lifting and training at the gym is really, really healthy. If you go hard as fuck too, like really, it satisfies that war emotion. It makes you more calm and glowy and flowy if you're getting that hard workout in. Oh man, man, that's the two things I'm missing right now: lifting weights and Call of Duty Black Ops 1, because it's like competitive and sweaty, and it's old school, right? This is Call of Duty from 2010. So it's more even playing fields and more simplistic. Nowadays I'll play Call of Duty. You can't even process the gun they use. Everything's happening so quick. You're not really processing what gun they're using. There's all these details that we're just flying past so we can do this super fast gameplay. And yeah, it's like that with the old Call of Duty, but the movements were more restricted on the old ones. So really it comes down to more pure skill. A lot of Call of Duty, I mean, they do a good job with the skill-based matchmaking, and that's how they make it even playing field. But there's just too much logistical imbalances and too many people playing too fast and not processing information much and not playing strategical that it just becomes a shit show. But yeah, I guess if you're good at it and you play in skill-based matchmaking, you'll end up in sweaty matches. But Black Ops 1, bro, it's sweaty. Like, it's not just the game to come and fool around and play some good old Black Ops 1. Like, the community is still, there's like 200 people at any given time still playing that game live on Xbox One or Xbox 360 servers. And it's the Wild West. You're allowed to say whatever you want without fear of getting banned. Unless you send it in a voice message. Other than that, they're not going to catch you. So I'll go hard at that game, be sweaty. Run in my mouth, dude. Run in my mouth. And I'm the most savage on there. The thing that makes me the most savage is I'm willing to self-deprecate myself. I'll show incredibly high confidence by agreeing with someone if they try to point out a fault. Like, yeah, you know what? I'm a single dad. Or you say oh, you seem gay. I'll be like, well, I'm a single dad. Like, you just keep downplaying it. You downplay yourself. It makes you invincible, an invincible force in the battlefield that is Call of Duty Black Ops 1. But yeah, I mean, my sales job that I've been doing is kind of a good battle. That definitely feels like a war. It's hard, stressful. Um, there's shit you gotta take on. And see, that's what we talk about net worth, and people always judging themselves. And I see all the content on here about people being this and that, and what's his net worth and what's their net worth. And You know, what about the nuts and bolts as humans? Because there's a lot of people working in the oil fields that are bad motherfuckers that, if it really came down to, we talk about power hungry and these chicken neck globalists, dude, and the rich elites. Those guys in the oil field would take what's yours if it came down to it. There's just tougher men. The average man is much tougher than the average multi-millionaire billionaire. But it's a combination of selling your soul and also having that pathway. I think a lot of these people are characters too that are created. Like Elon Musk, there's some shit behind him. And if you look at some of the like predictive programming from Marvel and how Iron Man and shit, I don't know. Elon Musk being involved with the government and all that. So yeah, don't let especially cuz all that shit like the New York Stock Exchange and the the millionaires and billionaires, they don't do anything like they don't affect your daily life. Obviously, they might impact the prices of stuff. But as far as like being involved in your daily life, they're not there. So the fact that we follow all these people in the news and on social media and we're always hearing about it and they're big numbers and we know how we look up to them like they're giants, but really we're worth more than them on the ground level. It's me and you. And net worth is just this physical number assigned to your name. It's at the end of the day how much paper is all your stuff worth? How much paper in our currency is your stuff worth and your worth? That's just paper. What happens when the paper burns? What happens when the grid goes down and your credit card is just a piece of plastic? Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. No, it's going to be a lot worse than that. The Ghostbusters ain't going to save you. God's already taken his people and formed his kingdom of heaven. We are the ones that are left. No, I'm just playing. That's dark as shit. I don't mean that. Or believe that. But it has been foretold and said. Yeah, fuck people that say that, you assholes. Like God already came and took his people. Or like when someone passes away, like, well, God's taken all the good ones. But it's like, okay, so if I'm a good one, now I'm gonna have to be scared. Oh man, I'm tripping myself out right now. Come on, man. I don't want to wind up in a padded room by the end of the day. Feeling good on a Wednesday. Damn, feeling way too deep and spiritual, dude. I'm feeling like I might just go off into the next dimension. But I haven't finished my battle here. What do you do when you love someone who hates you? But what if they love you, but you also hate them? What if you both love and hate each other at the same time? And we both feel the need to ghost each other. What do you do in that situation? I've never been in it before. Do I show up playing the song Kiss from a Rose by Seal with real roses with thorns in my mouth and the thorns have cut my lip and I'm wearing absolutely nothing but my suede boots and a Baker Mayfield jersey? I really do think that's the proper solution to my problem right now. And I will wear underwear, but I'm not gonna wear pants. I don't want to get pub. Well, if the jersey's long and it's covering your stuff, it's covering. But I guess if you drop something, bend over, you don't want to be because if you're those familiar with the bar scene, sometimes girls, it's getting the summertime, they're gonna wear a little high up dress, and they're gonna make a decision to not wear any panties, and they're gonna get all drunk, and then it's gonna slowly ride up, and they're gonna bend over, and there's that one song. It goes something like "Let that coochie breathe, let the coochie breathe," and yeah, a bunch of people are gonna see your shit, and you're never gonna know about it because you were drunk and didn't realize it. But me and the boy, some dude somewhere, is getting a good fucking laugh, and not because it's like mean. It's just like it's funny. It's fun. She's having a good time. Everybody's having a good time. It's not a mean thing. Like ha ha ha. It's almost 3-3-3. It's 3-3-2. See, I'm avoiding the devil. It just changed right there, but I looked at the clock. It was 3-3-2. 3-3-3. I don't know. That one can be negative if we're talking synchronicities. And I guess banking off that thought of your net worth and stuff, we as human beings are not on earth to play this game that we're all playing right now. In the social media and the dopamine clickbait and the seeing that like but number go up when you make a post. Like it's not helping and it's only making things worse because we're already in this like commercialism, consumerism, society that expects you to consume and have all these things that you want to buy and spend your money on. The expectation that you would have a nuclear family, the best job and partner possible. You always have the best car and possessions. We play this game, right? We literally play a game that says, I want to have the best this, the best that I can possibly have. Me, along with a lot of super smart and wise philosophers throughout time, would have to agree that we're not here to squeeze and manipulate everything to be perfect in our life. You will die chasing your tail trying to do this. You will meet your maker at the end of your life realizing that you have chased your tail. And I would say we're here to experience what our brain and heart gives our soul the ride. Whatever ride our brain and heart wants to give to our soul. We're here to ride that bitch out, see what's got to offer. But yeah, you want to take your opportunities, but I think what happens is people get their opportunities, do well in the opportunities, have a lot of good things, but they look around and then they want more because there's always going to be someone that has more than you. But that's not what makes you the hot gun and the sharpshooter around the corner. You do that with your energy and your vibe, and your true value to society lies in your mood and behavior toward the individual. Each individual you meet, whether it's your kitty cat or your boss or a random person or an ex girlfriend, how you treat these people is going to really determine who you are when it comes down to the nuts and bolts and the biology and the spiritual world that we live in. Not necessarily who you're married to, where you live, what house you live in, what car you drive, what your bank account says, how many flat screens you have, how many Netflix subscriptions you have. how many fine, fancy, expensive items you have. It doesn't matter. Because if you want to be the sharpshooter around the corner, it's in your blood and your DNA. I got loyalty, got royalty all in my DNA. And that's just an opinion. Um, if I were to break that down at a little bit deeper of a level, I'd play a little devil advocate and say that like, well, if we're here spawned into this like society, then in some capacity we're supposed to be a part of it, right? And play the game a little bit. It's just the idea that the FOMO and the wanting things because other people's have them, or wanting to do things because other people are doing them. I think a lot of times we get caught up in that trap, especially with the social media. Like, oh, they get to do that, I want to do that. When like really it's not your thing. And you're just going to get, it's like the Bahamas. You're just going to get a sunburn and be pissed. I don't know. I like the beach. I like the sun. But anyways, that's all I got for the show. As always, keep it fucking real, and we will catch you next time. Peace.